Good to see you again, Neil. It feels like you've had a bit of a break, hasn't it, given no game last weekend? Did it come at a right time, the break, given the...
You only know when you come back and play, whether it's the right time or not. I do, looking at training this week, I think it's done them a bit of good, if I'm honest. I think it's, we'd had a lot of games and a lot of tough games as well. And it almost felt like pre-season the last few days. So it's good that, the lads are keen and ready for it. So it's, looking forward to the running now, really. When we first came, we'd have settled for 3 games to go. And the lads have done me proud, really. I mean, you've seen the letter today about the goal that should have been allowed at Sunderland, and we've had 3 of them so far this season. And apparently one went over the line earlier on in the season, didn't they? So we should get a bit coming back the other way soon, I would think.
Yeah, you'd hope so. Given that extra time off, what was your message to the players after the Sunderland game, and did you allow them a bit of time to themselves?
Absolutely, yeah. Have a few days rest. Some flew away. The French lads went to Paris for a few days, and the other lads had a bit of time with their families. They're not going to get any fitter now, and if anything, I've had to hold them back a little bit because they want to do too much. So it's a nice thing to have to do, really, as a manager. But they're such a good group, So it's now we know it's three tough games to come, and it is in our hands, which we wanted all the way along the line. We wanted that to happen.
Flying away or spending time with the families, Neil, especially at this stage of the season, we're still a bit to play for. Where do you rank that in terms of importance for the players?
Well, I think, in especially the Championship, I think time off spent correctly is just as important as training 3 times a day. Some managers like you training morning, afternoon and night. I've never been one of them. And yet, I don't think my teams have... I think if you ask managers in the league, my teams have always been as fit as anybody else. A lot of it's in the mind. Some people think that's the done thing to train every hour, but I don't. I think relaxing with your family and enjoying time like that is just as rewarding. Well, I went home, but unfortunately, it wasn't a happy time. We have a 15-year-old dog, a Norfolk Terrier, who passed away, so it was a bit. It was a bit sad this time going home.
Sorry to hear that. Last night, Cardiff, your next opponents against Rotherham. I take it you were watching the game.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Cardiff winning. Does that result suit your side going into Sunday?
I don't really think about Cardiff or Rotherham or QPR or Reading or whoever's down there. I just think we've just got to concentrate on ourselves. If we don't get any results, we'll go down. So we've got to make sure that we get some results from these 3 games.
And is that simply been the message to the players?
Yeah,
forward?
absolutely. Yeah, I think I want us to carry on the front foot like we did at Sunderland, really, and play some good football if we can. Last few games, the lads seem to grasped what I want now, and I think they're enjoying it. So I want them to do that. Not play with fear. Try and just play with enjoyment, really. What
can you take from that Sunderland game? Because it feels a while ago now, doesn't it, going into the weekend?
Yeah, I mean, I thought we did really well. I think, Tony, when I saw Tony after, he thought we were unlucky, if I'm honest. I think he must have seen the goal that was disallowed before I saw it. And, I thought overall we deserved to win that game. I thought the fans were good as well. But I thought we got another dimension that night. And I was pleased with the way we played.
It almost feels, especially with the run you've had, depending on the opponent, it's finding different ways to play, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. We've changed things 4 or 5 times now, but you have to do that. We haven't got the players to play around. Certain styles and what have you. You have to, wherever you go in management, you have to get the best out of what you've got. And I've inherited a group of lads. They're all keen. They're all eager to please me. And they've all tried to do what I wanted them to do. So all credit to them, really.
Team news-wise, going into the weekend, Jonathan Hogg was missing for the trip up to Sunderland. How's Jonathan?
Yeah, he's struggling a little bit. We'll have to see. You never know with Jonathan. we've got a couple of doubts for the weekend, but I won't go into details on that. We've had a couple of little niggles in training. But the good news is we've got 2 goalkeepers, so that's the good news. But I don't think one of them can play out. I think we're going to have to just put one in the goals. I haven't made up my mind yet, so I can't tell you.
Okay. Put it up.
Just on someone who's been ever present since you came in, Michal Heilig, we spoke to him before you came in. He says he feels there's a calmness across the back line since you've come in. Have you seen that from your side?
I just think they've grasped what I want. Early doors we made mistakes, silly mistakes. Everybody really made mistakes, apart from Tom Lees. And then I think we've eliminated as many of those as we can now, and which gives you a chance of winning a game. And that's what we need. We need the defence to stand up now because, we're going to get tested on Sunday. They're very, really strong physical forward line. So it'll be a good battle, I think, because, I think our lads can look after themselves as well. So be a good crowd now. They'll all be celebrating. So, I think it promises to be a good game.
Not just Michal, but there's Tom, there's Matty. You talk about needing those warriors, those battlers. You've got some characters in that defence, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's needed at the championship level. And like you say, you named the players. They've all made mistakes over the last few weeks, but they have worked really hard to eliminate that. And I think, I'd like to think that we could defend well in the next 3 games and give ourselves a chance of getting some points.
Cardiff, obviously, a side that you must hold in such high esteem given what you achieved there. How does it feel, Neil, when you do go back to a club that you have enjoyed such success?
Well, I've never been back I don't think I've been back as a manager. I might have been. I can't remember that far back. But I had a fabulous time there. Some of the best times of my career, really. It was almost an impossible job. And when I went down there, the club was in fragments, really. There was quite a lot of dissent around the crowds and everything else. I like to think that I put it all back together, really. And we built a lovely club, and it is a lovely club. And fans were really good, and I've got nothing but praise for them, me, really. I'm glad that they're safe, if I'm honest. It
seems a very different side now. It's changed a lot since you were there. Are you still in contact with anyone at Cardiff?
Well, obviously Sol Bamba's there, who I've known for many, many years. And I think that was a shrewd move, really, to bring him on board. And Joe Rolls, he was always Mr. Reliable when I was there as well. So, yeah, the odd one or two. But things move on, don't they? They've had quite a few managers since I left, and everybody has different opinions, really, on players, don't they? So it'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to pitting my wits against them, if I'm honest.
And Danny was there with you at the time. Have you had a little word with Danny about your time at Cardiff, or are you going to save that for afterwards?
No, not really. I mean, I spoke this morning. I think he was there 3 years. I didn't know he was there 3 years, so I must have been there at the same time then. It was one that I wanted to sign straight away, and we managed to do that. And I think he's got happy memories, if I'm honest, at Danny Cardiff. I don't think we can have anything. First of all, to try and stay up and then to go up in 1 year was miraculous, really.
Town haven't won there since the Ninian Park days. It would be a great time to end that run, wouldn't it, this week?
Yeah, everybody, it seems to be every game somebody tells me a stat why we can't win, if I'm honest. I think that's the last 6 games. We can't win. So we've confounded some of the stats. But you just have to do your best, really, and that's all you can do. I always thought it might go down to the last game, and nothing really changes my opinion, if I'm honest.
But knowing that, given you're looking at Reading and you're looking at your side with a game in hand, has it entered your mind that it now that last game could be a dead rubber?
I wish it was, yeah. I'd be more than happy. But I think, when you get letters from referees apologising for not letting you have a goal, you realise that nothing's going to go straight forward. There's going to be twists and turns. There always is. It could be a decision that costs you. It could be a mistake by somebody. You just don't know what's around the corner in the Championship. All I do know is that every one of them players that goes on the pitch will be giving me 100%. and I think the fans, they're going to go down in numbers and make themselves heard. I think we've sold 1,700, or we had the other day, so we're nearly 2,000 tickets. So it's a good turnout that for a 12 o'clock kickoff. Wow, it's really good.
Best of luck for it.
Thank you very much.
Hi Neil. You mentioned Lee Nichols back. How important might he be to the side if you do elect to bring him in?
Well, I think it's it's great to have two number one keepers. Really, I don't think Thomas has, this last few weeks in particular, has been outstanding as well. But Lee, by all accounts, was one of the best goalies in the league before his injury. So, when I spoke to him a few months ago, it said it'd be nice if you could be in contention before the end of the season. And I think I gave him that carrot, which I think, when you've seen him training the last few days and weeks, he's trained really hard, So we've had a tough session this morning. We'll just see how they both come through before I make a decision tomorrow.
What's Anthony Knockout's situation at the moment?
He's not involved at the minute. I've only got 7 substitutes, and he's not going to be involved at the minute.
Okay. Was there any particular reason for that, or rather not getting?
Not really. I don't think you get in my team at the minute, or on the bench. Really, I've got other options. What I'm using at the minute, so it's no.
Yeah, you've mentioned Hoggy is a doubt, but you were able to sort of play a bit differently against Sunderland in his absence. Do you feel like he could come in and play that high pressing style, or do you feel like that is sort of mutually exclusive? Where do you see that?
I think every team that you're playing against different, Stephen. If I'm honest, I think some people are high press, some people are low. Hoggy gives us that experience as well. So I think it's going to be nice. I'd rather him be fit and available than not, if I'm honest. But we did cope well at Sunderland with Jack and David. Thought they both did really well in there, and I thought Diarra did. So it's good. I mean, you've got Ungbo who's done really well this week in training as well, and I think his best game was probably when I played two up with at Birmingham, wasn't it?
Yeah, with Wardy, wasn't it? Yeah, I mean, Danny wasn't that involved. Danny Ward against Sunderland wasn't on the ball too much. Is it trying to get him more involved at the weekend?
Yes, I think so. I think unfortunately some teams that you play against, it's out of his hands really. Danny, likes of Swansea where we never had a kick at in that half of the pitch. It was just hard work really, and you're going to get that if you play a certain system. But he never complains to me. I know sometimes it's detrimental to his game, but he just gets on with it. And if I ask him to do a job, he does it.
It's important, isn't it, for either side on Sunday to take their chances, particularly in a game, two teams that have struggled for goals this season, albeit changed the story recently. Both sides.
Yeah, I think you can't really put your finger on things like that, but because they've got some really good players as well, and we haven't, and yet we're both down at the wrong end of the table, and I'm sure both teams would like to be at the other end next season. I know we just concentrate on trying to be in the league to be anywhere next season, but it'll be a good atmosphere. There's always a good crowd there, and the Bluebirds they do get behind the team, and it's their last home match, so it promises to be a good atmosphere. Like I say, good atmosphere.
Are you and the players feeling positive about your chances of staying up?
I think the lads are positive about anything at the minute. You just hope that they can play as well as they've trained. I mean, since Sunderland, I think that gave everybody a big lift, really, Sunderland, because they obviously have done well since before we played them and after we played them. So, I don't think they've had many, nearly 40,000 people there, and I thought we were very unlucky not to win that game, So I think we've enjoyed the atmosphere. And that's what I want them to do at Cardiff, because it is a great atmosphere, And so I want Talas to go out and enjoy it if he can. You always play better if you're enjoying it.
It must have been a big positive against Sunderland. You were able to do a lot more on the ball, get into dangerous areas. Is it trying to repeat that against Cardiff and maybe be a bit more clinical?
It is, but different types of players, Cardiff are, they're a lot more physically, balls coming into your box from everywhere. Are you with me? So you've got to defend well. But Sunderland's a lot more intricate, a little 1-2s and things, around the box, different types of players. So you get, you have to overcome different systems and different players. But that's why if you're a regular in the Championship, you've got to be a decent player, especially defensive wise.
You've got likes of Matty Pearson, Mihal, Tom Lees, the players you can rely on with those balls into the box.
Yeah, the three lads, and I think Ruffs has done well as well. So I've been happy with the back four, and I don't think anybody's let us down, if I'm honest. And I've been quite happy in midfield, and yes, we could score more goals, but I don't think anybody's, even Josh Karoma and Headley's come back in. I think they've all done well as well, So it's nice. I just hope that we can keep them all fit now. We've done some training today. We're doing a bit more tomorrow. After about extra, they all want to do extra because they're up for it. And Ronnie's doing a bit, and I said, don't do too much. I don't want bloody Wardy pulling his hamstring or one of the others. We just haven't got. We don't want any injuries now. We've only got 3 games in such a short space of time, haven't we?
That's all from me. Best luck.
Thank you very much.
Hi, Neil. You all right?
Hi, Liam.
This could be your last ever away game potentially as a manager. There's a lot of sentiment there, but you've got to park it, haven't you?
Oh, I mean, I won't. I'll get sentimental after the game.
Yeah.
Whatever the result.
Yeah.
I had such a fabulous time down there, Leon.
Yeah, you did.
I'll be thanking them after the game because they really got behind me, and it was like a 12th man. But not during the game or before.
Yeah.
I think we just got to get on with it,
Yeah.
And but it is a good atmosphere. The lads, I think the lads will enjoy playing in it because it is a really good atmosphere. And if we're taking nearly 2,000 down with us, we'll make a noise in that corner.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's funny. You think of Cardiff as a, rugby place, Wales, but it's very passionate about the football as well, aren't they?
It is, but I've got to tell you, Leon, the best time I've ever experienced in a sporting arena was when I went to watch Wales play Australia at rugby.
Right.
And the hairs on my back, I can't tell you. When the national anthem was sung, it's something different, the Welsh national anthem. Wow, I've never heard aught like it. It was unbelievable. And so I didn't realise the fever, till I went to that game.
Yeah.
But they get behind the football as well, There's a big rivalry, Swansea-Cardiff.
Yeah.
I'm sure next season Cardiff will want to put that right. We didn't like getting beat by them. Yeah. So it's but there's a lot of, it's a lovely, lovely city.
Yeah.
My daughter goes up there quite a lot. The young people love it, love Cardiff. Got everything going for it. And I had a really good time.
Yeah. I went to the game last night at Rotherham, and the manager came in afterwards, the Cardiff manager, and he basically said, they're safe, but it's a big game. We want to win on Sunday. We've got a good home crowd there. There's going to be they're not going to be on the beach or anything like that.
No, they won't. They won't. Everybody, they'll all want to win, won't they? That's how it should be. If I was in their situation, I'd want to win. So, but we've just got to focus on ourselves and hope that we play. I just want us to play. I don't mind what the result is if we play, and if we don't get a bit of luck or anything like that, I can't complain. But it's when you don't play and you don't get a result, that you're disappointed with. Yeah,
I mean, you sort of look at it, the Championship. You might not miss the Premier League when you retire, but you'll miss the Championship.
Would I? It's that. It's knowing that the bottom can beat the top.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how many fixtures there is this week. 10. What is it? How many teams have we got for 22? 11. 11 games. And you could not put your money on any of those results. If you picked 11 results, home, draw, or away, Leon, and I did the same.
Yeah.
I bet we'd only get 6 or 7 right.
Yeah.
It's just so difficult. That's why I think it's the best league in the world, me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's slightly different now, the Premier League, isn't it? Because Newcastle have come into it, and Brighton, and Fulham and all these other, which they were unheard of, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. Yeah,
2 or 3 years ago. So
Yeah.
that's I think that's been good for the Premier League.
Yeah, I mean, the finish could be one like you've not seen either. I mean, it could be a mad day, couldn't it? The last day.
Please don't keep bringing it up, Leon. Okay.
I won't. Don't worry.
If you feel like that, imagine what I'm going to be feeling.
Oh, I won't mention that one. We'll save that one.
Okay.
All right. Best of luck, Neil. As
Thanks,
always.
Leon.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.